4 riddles that will test your intelligence. Could you answer just one question? Do you go to the gym, swim in the pool, play tennis? You probably worry about the condition your body is in and exercise it regularly. But how do you exercise your brain? Don't worry, you don't necessarily have to multiply 10-digit numbers in your head. Sometimes, all it takes is one picture with a hidden explanation behind it. We have a challenge for you. There are 4 riddles in this video. Take your time, don't hurry, think it over. So, let's start. On the river. It was a hot summer day, but Inspector Varnicky was on duty. Fortunately, he wasn't sitting in a stuffy office room. The detective, along with his assistant, was chasing a dangerous criminal. Following in his footsteps, they found themselves on the shore of a small but very deep and rapid river. The inspector and his assistant saw some swimmers, approached them, and asked, "We are looking for a guy of approximately your age. He must be somewhere nearby. Have you seen him?" The reply came immediately. "He ran past us just a few minutes ago. He flung himself into the river right here. You can see him on the other side of the river. Hurry if you want to catch him." The nice guy even offered to give Varnicky his boat, but the inspector refused. "Let them run away," said the inspector. "Now I want to get acquainted with you." Why did the inspector decide to pay attention to the boys and not chase the fugitive on the other side? Don't hurry with the answer. You have some time to think. If it's not enough, pause the video, analyze, look for any details on the picture that can help you out. Well, what could raise the suspicion? The state the guys were in? But it's typical for the beach, hot summer day attire. Something about the bushes, the sand, the river? What is your idea? Or perhaps you have already figured it out. So, who is the criminal? If you have been attentive, you must remember that the stream flow was very fast and the river itself deep and rough. If someone had decided to cross it, they would have immediately drowned. Even if the criminal had been a talented sportsman and managed to cross the river, he would have been taken away from that place by the current. There's no way he could end up on the other side. So the criminal is one of those who stood on the shore in front of the inspector and his assistant. Got it right? Very good. Give us a thumbs up. And let's move to the next riddle. Christmas mystery. Inspector Varnicky, who you already know, was on duty during the Christmas holidays. Poor guy. On the morning of December 25th, he went on a call. He rang the doorbell, and a minute later, a sleepy apartment owner opened it. The inspector introduced himself and said, "I have to inspect your apartment carefully. Your neighbor says that yesterday, on Christmas Eve, he came to your place for a party. And while he was singing songs along with your family next to your Christmas tree, shining with multicolored lights, you broke into his apartment and stole a number of valuable items." The surprised owner replied, "That's not true. Our family celebrated Christmas Eve at our friend's place. We left our apartment and went to them in the afternoon. I had barely time to decorate the Christmas tree before we went away. We returned home way past midnight and went to sleep right away. If you want, I can wake my wife and son up and they'll confirm all I've said." "There's no need for that," interrupted Inspector Varnicky. "It's quite obvious to me that your neighbor is a liar." How did Inspector Varnicky manage to catch the neighbor in a lie so quickly? What do you think of this case? Let's consider the situation together. Well, perhaps the man sounded very sincere, but was it enough for the inspector to believe him? Could he have the proof of the suspect's words? Maybe somebody saw the family returning from visiting their friend. Could the inspector notice something confirming the statement of the apartment owner? Compare your ideas with the answer right here. Why did the detective call the neighbor a liar? Again, nothing too complicated or mysterious. Just an exercise to check how attentive you are. If you take another look at the Christmas tree, you will notice that the garland is missing one bulb, and you know that it wouldn't be working without it. The owner really did decorate the Christmas tree in a hurry, and he didn't check whether the lights were working or not. The neighbor couldn't have known this, and he lied about singing songs next to a shining multicolored tree. By the way, a garland's frayed cord doesn't prevent it from shining. But can you imagine how professional and attentive the inspector is? If you had the same qualities and managed to find the answer, press a like and look at the next riddle. Apartment complex in New York. In an apartment complex typical for New York, there are 100 married couples. So, no wonder that when one of the husbands cheats on his wife with one of the other wives, his wife has no idea. But you know the law of life, the truth always gets revealed. And with a large amount of gossip in the complex, all of the other wives know he is cheating. But unlike any other place, the rules of punishment for unfaithfulness in this complex are very peculiar and even terrifying. If a wife finds out that her husband is cheating on her, she kills him the following morning. Whoops. And guess what happens? Someone anonymously sends an email to all of the wives in the building, saying that at least one man is cheating on his wife in the building. How many husbands will be killed, and how long will it take? Well, this riddle is a bit further up on the cruelty scale, but don't let it bother and distract you. This task seems to challenge your logical thinking. Are you ready to face it off? Don't hurry and don't give up. Remember, you can pause the video, take a piece of paper and a pen, and do whatever you need to solve this riddle. Draw a scheme perhaps, or a dead husband. So let's uncover the truth now. How many husbands and how much time? All of the men, let's say that their quantity is n, who are cheating will be killed, and it will take one less night than the number of the cheating men, n minus 1, for their wives to discover this. If one man was cheating, and his wife hadn't heard of any other infidelity, she would know it was her husband that was cheating. If there were two men cheating, both of their wives would think that since they have only heard of one man cheating, he should die the next morning. If he doesn't die, they decide that their husband must also be cheating, and that's why the other husband didn't die. Following this logic, you know that all of the men will die after one less night than the number of the cheating men. Voila! How did this one seem to you? Mind-twisting or easy peasy? Good for you if you managed to solve it. If not, don't get upset. It indeed was confusing. And anyway, there is one more riddle to come. You can still turn the tables. Hot summer day. It was a hot summer day, and a police detective decided to catch a little son by the banks of a river. Suddenly, he heard a woman crying. Surely, he couldn't help but rush to help. "What's happened?" he asked the sobbing girl. "Please calm down and tell me everything one step at a time." "That's easy for you to say," said the girl between sobs. "You can't even imagine how dear that bracelet was to me. I come here every day. Today I took off my bracelet while sunbathing, placed it on top of my book, and accidentally fell asleep. I woke up and the bracelet wasn't there anymore." The inspector fell into deep thought. There were no footsteps left by other people in the sand around where the girl had been sitting, apart from her own. There were no other people in the vicinity. It followed that only one of the regular visitors to the beach could have taken the bracelet. These people had now formed a thick wall all around the inspector. He looked at them and within a moment understood who could have taken it. Clever him. What about you? What's your idea? Maybe the thief is the guy with the tennis racket? He seems to look too innocent. Or the woman. She is the only one holding a bag. Perhaps she put the bracelet inside? Do you agree? Time is running out. You need to give the answer soon. The main hint here was the phrase that there were no footprints around the place, and the only person who could reach the bracelet without leaving any footsteps in the sand is the one with the fishing rod. He was the first person to fall under suspicion. How did you deal with these brain teasers? Which one was the most difficult? Share with us in the comments and hit the like button if you got at least one.